What's up guys, UDB here with another quick tip video. Today we're going to be talking about level 1 invades, how to perform them correctly, when to do them, and when to cut your losses and back out. First of all, level 1 invades are a strong early game strategy that have the potential to set you ahead by 1 to 2 levels until around 10 minutes. If snowballed correctly, they can actually win you the game. So when do you do an invade? Well, usually if your opponent is a weaker early game jungler than you, such as a Mumu or Malphite who starts at blue buff almost exclusively, it's easier to take their red buff without them even noticing. Also, if you notice that you're being invaded at level 1, a counter invade is sometimes necessary to reclaim your buff control. For example, if you find out that the enemy Lee Sin is trying to take your red with the help of his team at level 1, and you're on a champ that is available to start red first, it can be a good idea to go start at his and then take your blue immediately after. If your champion is unable to take red first, you can also start your blue and then head straight to his red, but it is far more dangerous. Now, when performing a level 1 invade, that is going into their jungle at any time when you are both level 1, it's very important to know when to cut your losses and back out of the opponent's jungle so you don't set yourself behind even more than you would be already after a failed invade. As hard as it is to leave a buff at level 1 due to the hardship it will bring on your early game, sometimes it has to be done. If you get caught doing an invade or the buff is warded and you know that their team is around, if they have a stronger level 1 team, you may have to back out. That being said, if you have the stronger level 1 team and your whole team is willing to stay and help, you can stay and maybe even net a kill or two. Now, level 1 team strength is usually determined by the amount of CC available at level 1. 3 or more crowd control skills is typically considered very strong, especially if that stun can be used as an AoE, such as Annie's W. So, if you're planning an invade on the opponent's jungle, make sure to ask yourself the following questions before you go in. Is my team strong enough to win a fight if we walk into a bush full of enemies? And, is there a good chance that the enemy will recognize my invade and do a counter? And lastly, what buff does the opposing jungler usually start? If you know the answers to all of these questions and you still want to invade, then go ahead and go right in. Finally, I'll just run over how to do an invade. First things first, you need to pick a time to go into their jungle. Usually anywhere from 1 minute to 1 minute and 30 seconds is good. However, you can also perform a late invade by starting the movement at 146 and arriving to the buff just as it spawns. The late invade is usually best if you are invading the buff where you think they're going to start, as it has the potential to catch them off guard and net you a first blood. Once you've successfully taken the buff, go back to your route and remember to push your advantage by counter jungling when you think they are taking the other buff. Also remember to time their level 1 buff, as invaders have the potential to throw off the timers from their standard resets. Alright guys, so worst case scenario, if the invade is a failure and the opposing jungler ends up with his buff while you're buffless, what you need to do is just proceed to take your own buffs as quickly as possible and get your laners to hopefully help you with a leash. After that, just farm until you're back in the game. Also, I will be releasing a video on how to catch up when you're behind soon, so look forward to that guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial on how to correctly perform level 1 invades. If this video helped you out, make sure to leave a like or a comment, and if you hated it, leave a thumbs down and a comment on what you think I could have done better. If you'd like to see my new videos as soon as they're uploaded, click subscribe. Thanks everybody and have a fantastic day of invading.